Hi all, Elena here. In today's video, I wanted to make something a little bit different again. So I decided I would make a short tutorial on how I usually make drum beats or drum/percussion beats. I'm going to show you briefly my process and you can follow along if you want. So I'm currently in Cubase. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to add an instrument track and I'm going to use Sitala or Sitala. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. It's actually a free plugin. I will link it down in the description box. It's simple, but it has quite a lot of controls, so you can customize a lot of things. As you can see here, you have shape, tuning, even compression and tone, and of course panning. You can make your own kits. You can replace all these different slots, 16 slots, with your own samples. So I have no script for this one, so I'm just going to do what I usually do when I want to make a beat. So this is going to be quite generic. I'm going to do something quite simple and straightforward. So what I usually do, I'm just laying down the basic beat. In this case, I'm just going to use this clean 808 kit, and then I'm just laying down a very simple pattern. After I have the main pattern, add a couple of other things, or I might replace each one of the samples with different samples. I have already set the tempo to 87. I will have to edit this a little bit. Depending on the track I'm doing, I'm not always as strict with quantization. So here we have a 4-bar pattern. I'm using the 16th note quantization unit here. Yep, sounds all right. And we're going into velocity editing now because I'm going to replace those samples with something else. So let's say I have this pattern here. Let me duplicate this. And let's say for the second iteration of the pattern, I want to add some sort of closed hi-hats, for example. So let me try to record something on top of that. So in this case, I'm having something on top of this, and let me just quantize it a little bit as well. If we play it together, okay, so now we have our basic pattern laid down. So in Cubase, we have a very helpful functionality, the lane section. So I'm not sure if the shortcut is this by default, but I have assigned mine to the L key. So every time I press the L key on a track, it brings on the lanes of the track. So basically lanes are different recordings you've done above the same region. So every time you record something above something else, but in the same region, for example, from bars here 8 to 12, it stacks it in this section here, and this gets recorded down as an extra lane. In MIDI editing, this offers great flexibility. So in this case, what I would like to do here is to break this pattern into many different lanes. For example, I want the kick, which is a C1 note, to be into its own lane. Then here, the snare to be into its own lane, etc. I'm selecting the lane. I want to split into different lanes. I'm going to MIDI, going into dissolve part. I'm choosing this option, dissolve to lanes. That's it. And now I have each one of the elements into a different section here. I'm going to export each one of those lanes into a different track. So the way to do this is through this function here, render in place. So I have assigned my own shortcuts in render settings. So every time I want to render something, I'm just pressing Control R. I'm on Mac, and I'm choosing every time if I want to bounce the dry track as it was originally recorded, or if I want to bounce it with channel settings or complete signal path, and etc. Here I have no reason to select anything else because I haven't added any plugins on my insert section here. So I'm rendering it. And this one is my kick here, so we can listen to it separately. I'm going to do the same with the other elements. Now I have effectively split my original drum pattern into 5 different audio tracks. If now I was in a full production setting, what I usually do is I'm adding a folder track. I'm writing something like this, drums and percussion. I'm using color coding to everything I do. So for me, drums have a yellowish brown color. Now let me just rename quickly my track. So this is my kick. Let me do the snares. This color, the advantage of having everything in a separate audio track is that you can treat each one of the sounds individually as far as inserts, but also sends are concerned. You have the whole frequency range in these sections. So it's not a good idea and a good practice to treat everything with the same processors. Let's see now. Let me see if I can use another kick for this pattern here. I'm gonna stay with this kick. With the snare, let me try to find another snare. Actually, let me try this. So this is full 2 bars. So I might use a snare similar to this one, but for the second iteration. So let me try to find something else as well on Splice. Oh, actually, I like this one. So this happens quite often. While I'm searching for samples, I might find something else. I'm just trying a couple of things. I can use it as a starting point for creating some sort of filler section, sort transition between the two. Let's see. This one. Now I think I'm having another idea about this. Let's do this. Starting from here. actually, let me repeat this here at the end. Should be here, right? Yes. And we still have to find another hi-hat. So I might use this one here. I'm just going to copy it 4 times, so I have half of a bar, and then I'm going to copy, paste it to the whole thing. So there's a very nice plugin in Cubase, which is called LoopMash FX. I like actually to use this on hi-hats mostly. So if you play this pattern here, you can use all these different controls and add these real-time effects on this. The problem is that everything you do when you record cannot get recorded on the same channel, so all the buttons I pressed here are not recorded in any way on this channel. I have to do it in real time. So what I like to do to be able to record all these changes is I'm adding a new bass, and I'm going to name it Loop Mass. And then after this bass, I'm going to be adding another audio channel, Loop Mass Rec. This is where the output of this plugin is going to be recorded. So basically, I'm routing this track into this bass. So if I play this now, it goes through this bass, and this bass sends it on the stereo out. And I'm going to use as a stereo in of this audio, this bass as well. So this bass track here not only sends into the stereo out this track here, but it also provides the input for this track here. If I press record for this channel while I have opened this plugin from this one, everything I do with these controls is going to be recorded in this track here, which is actually very, very useful. And let me try to do this now. Okay, that was it. Quick and painless. And now what I have is everything I did on this plugin while I was recording got recorded here. And so I have different variations of this hi-hat pattern in a new channel. Obviously, I'm not making use of all these different patterns, but choosing a couple of them and maybe cut them, rearrange them, and just put them here and there to provide a different feeling, a variation, some motion. I can use this as, let me add another channel. So now I'm just getting into the selection process. I want to see what I like and what I don't like, what I'm going to keep and what not. So this one, I think I'm going to do another recording. Now I have another recording. this is pretty much it, the process. I'm going to be doing a quick mix of this and add some plugins and stuff, and then I'm going to come back and play the final thing. Cool. I did a very quick mix of this. So as you can see here, I have divided into different basses, the snares, this additional percussion, everything hi-hat related at the end. All my FX returns are with this turquoise color here. I'm actually using some reverb and some delay. I've used some saturation on the snares, very basic one, plate reverb. In the hi-hats, I pan them slightly differently, so not everything is on the center. So I'm keeping only the low frequencies on the center because these are the spine of the production. Something I like to do with the hi-hats is use some sort of auto pan or tremolo to switch between the left and the right channel so they're not static. And finally, on the kick, I've even used some slight delay as well. So when you play it without the returns, sounds like this. But when you add them, it has some extra fatness and movement that I really like. So yeah, this is pretty much it, how I make a drum beat. So let me play it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Actually, I might turn this into a full production. Who knows? Let's see. Please feel free to comment, ask any questions, or add something you want, or talk about your process. And thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye bye.